Just a little tutorial on some of the Google Sheets functions that we can use. I've been looking for them on the web, on YouTube and stuff, and most of them are pretty rubbish, either too much or not enough, and a bit out of context, so it'll be hard. So I'm going to make our own, special for Dance Sensations. We'll have to excuse the wiggles in the background. Gigi's having a great time though. Okay, so this is the fantastic spreadsheet that Claudia's been working on, and you guys seem to add heaps to on Friday, which is awesome. Thank you for that. I've just modified it just a little bit, but we're going to put it back to how you're used to it looking. But just to show you how I did it, because they're pretty important little things, or pretty handy little things to use. The first thing is making these 5 rows here stick or freeze when we scroll across. Otherwise it gets annoying having to go back, forth, back, forth. So the way we do that's really simple. We just click whereabouts we want it to lock in, the last column, go to freeze, and freeze up to the current column E. And now there we go, that's stuck in there. So we also it's probably going to be handy to have these 2 rows stuck as well, or frozen. So view, freeze, and up to the current row, which is number 2. And now that's stuck there as well, so we can, it's only these little bits here that go left, right, up, down. And that just makes it a lot easier. Okay, so now the biggest Google Sheet or Excel thing that people would ever use is the sum function, which is just adding numbers. So for each of these costumes, obviously we want to add how many of each size we've got to get a total number of costumes that we've got. Now we can see here, we want to do 5 plus 13 plus 2 plus 2, which will obviously be 22. But obviously it's going to be too time consuming for us to sit here for all 200 odd of them. So what we do is we type a little command. So we click on the cell and we just start typing, equals, and then sum is the add one. So like these things here, whenever you type in a command that gives you, or a function that gives you a little summary, don't get too caught up in them if you don't need them. But sometimes it is a bit handy if you just forget how to use it. But if I type equals sum, I think the easiest way is just to say, right, I want to go from here, I'm going to drag all the way across. Sometimes it gets a little bit stuck. I want to go all the way across to here. And I close the brackets. That's going to sum every single number in that row. Obviously we've only got the 4, but it does it nice and quickly for us. Another way to do the same thing, this one here equals sum. I'm going to click in this first cell there, F4. I'm going to scroll across here to the last one, and I'm going to hold shift and then click, and that does the same thing as dragging across. I'm going to close the brackets. Okay, so that's got the 25, 6 plus 12 is 18, plus 7 is 25. So obviously it's going to be time consuming to sit there and type that for all, but that's where we use the fill down. So again, I just hover my mouse over until it hits that, until the cross turns to the black one there. Click, drag all the way down, and down and down and down. Excel had a slightly quicker way to do this, but I can't seem to find it in Google Sheets, so we'll just have to go with the drag like this. Even though we're stopped there, let's just keep going. So I'm sure there's a few more costumes we need to do in there. If we set it up properly the first time, we don't have to bother playing around with it, no matter how many costumes we ever get. Keep going all the way to the bottom. Sorry, it's taking a bit. Here we go. Alright, so that's done that for, it's having a little bit of a think. There we go. So every single row, this row here, in this box here, it's just done, alright, from F124, so it's summed every number from here all the way across to that same row. Ooh. across to here. So there's 23 in there. So we've just really quickly and easily figured out exactly how many we've got of each costume. And then, if we want to, we can come right down to the bottom and say we want to find out how many we've got all together. Let's do that, equals sum. And we want to go all the way, so I don't have to sit here and type it again. The very first one we want to go to was D3, so we want to sum all the values from, I'm just going to type it, D3, and I'm going to put a semicolon all the way down to D500, was right at the bottom. So that's what that's done there. So in the ones that you've counted so far, you guys have counted 3,629 costumes so far. Good job. All right, just a couple more things we can do just to make it a little bit easier. I'm going to delete that number for you. Sometimes it's beneficial to create a second sheet where we do all our summing and all our sort of little maths bits. And you'll see why in a second. So, number of total costumes. So that's the number we just found before, that 3,600. But I'm going to show you a slightly quicker way to do it. So, we just want to sum every single number that's in column D here. And we're always going to be adding to it. Sometimes if we put like the sum here, for example, if I wrote equals sum of D3 down to D375, we'd still get that same number we wanted, but when we got down to here, we'd have to delete that, redo it, gets it a little bit painful. So another way to do it is to come over here and just go equals sum. Then we click back on the sheet where all the numbers are, and we just click on column D there. And that's just saying sum every single number down that column. So no matter where we add it, or how many we add, it's going to keep summing for us, sorry. And we end up with that same number, which is good. Okay. These next two aren't really, I hate doing this, but the numbers aren't really of any use, but it's just for me to show you how to actually do this thing. So let's just say, I don't really mind what this number is, but let's just say we've got 250 sets of costumes. So we should be able to see it pretty easily. So you guys are up to 226, so let's just put that number in, yeah? Let's just say you've counted 226 costumes. So, to calculate an average number of costumes, not that we'd ever want or use this number, all we need to do is take the 3,629 and divide it by that number. So if you ever need to divide in Google Sheets, again, we just type equals. There's no command for it, but we just want to do this number divided by this number. Okay? We don't like numbers with lots of decimals, so we click on it, come back up here and reduce the number of decimal places till it's 16.1 is the average number of costumes. Again, I'm just going to delete these because I don't really care, but it's just to show you that's how you divide numbers. You use the backslash there. If for some reason you ever want to times numbers, you just type equals that, the times is the little star above the 8, so shift 8 times that. Okay, and we end up back with 3,629. Okay, like I said, I don't really need that, but just remembering the the backslash is divide, and that star above the 8 is multiply, if you ever need to use it. Okay, now that's it for the basic ones. I'll also do a separate video with some more advanced counting things. Alright, thanks, bye.